Hello kids, Mr. Josephs here. Today I'm going to be reading to you about exercise 3A, crime scene sketching, and you'll be making one of these sketches. Okay, let's talk about this. So crime scene sketching. Before the jury hears a testimony about the conditions at a crime scene, before blood evidence is collected for DNA analysis, before latent fingerprints development begin, even before the area around the body is combed for clues, the crime scene is documented by sketching and photography. There are two phases to crime scene sketching, the rough sketch and the finished sketch. The most common view used in crime scene sketches is the bird's eye view. This is the view of the scene as from directly above, which does not include the appearance or the contents of vertical surfaces like walls or cabinets. An elevation is the view from the side and is always accompanied by the cardinal direction. For example, a particular view may be the elevation of the north wall of the living room, Smith Residence, 222 Mockingbird Lane, 1st of January 2001. The address, date, and your initials must be on each sketch, in addition to any other chain of custody documents required by your instructor. During the initial evaluation of the scene, an investigator must select 2 points of reference, like the north exterior wall, or a window, or the main entry door. These must be immovable, permanent features of the building or landscape. You can't use like a desk in the corner that could be moved. To generate a rough sketch, the investigator measures the dimensions of the space and uses these points to accurately characterize the contents of the scene. Major items of interest, like a body or a weapon, are located in reference to these points. For example, the investigator may select the south exterior wall of a home and the back door located in the kitchen as the 2 points of reference in a crime scene focused on the kitchen and the stairs to the basement. The sketch should begin with the dimensions of the rooms involved and the footprint of the dwellings, as well as the orientation of the building to due north, as it would appear on a map. The property surrounding the building, like the distance to a road, other buildings, or vehicles, may also be relevant to the investigation, so communication with the other investigators on scene is important during this portion of the crime scene analysis. Once the floor plan of the building is documented, the specific contents are recorded. You must be sure to search the room in a methodical way, which is most commonly done by walking in a circle around the room, spiraling in toward the center. Furniture, blood spatter, bodies, weapons, and any other items of interest should be included on the drawing, with the distance from each item to the 2 reference points determined earlier. It is not necessary to draw each item. Rather, a letter or a number should be assigned to each and then included in the sketch. The appearance and the orientation of these items are documented in the crime scene photographs and not on the sketch. Be sure to correlate the letter or numbers with the photographs as well. Any details like odor, sounds, or other facts not encompassed by the sketch should be recorded in your investigator's notebook. The level of detail should be sufficient to adequately refresh your memory if you are called to testify in court. After the scene has been properly documented, a finished sketch is prepared in a controlled environment, like back in the lab or the office. It should be a neat version of the rough sketch, clearly drawn to scale. Computer programs or printed cut and paste kits are also used by some law enforcement agencies to generate finished sketches. And now they're starting to use augmented reality. It's pretty cool. So the materials you'll need is a sketchbook, which is grid ruled. Actually, you're going to use the last page of this document, which is also grid ruled. And I've printed this out for you. This will be a assignment that you do on paper and handed in on paper. You're going to generate a finished sketch from the rough sketch on page 16. So here's the rough sketch of page 16. Notice it tells you a whole bunch of different pieces of evidence, and there's a legend down at the bottom here that you can use for your final sketch. Okay, There's the body. Ooh, someone got murdered. So it's necessary to draw the room to scale, meaning that the distances recorded in the rough sketch are in the same proportion in the finished sketch. This can be easily accomplished by using grid-ruled or graphing paper. Most grid-ruled paper is 4 squares per inch. For example, if you were to draw a room that is 12 feet by 18 feet, then you can make your drawing 12 squares by 18 squares. This is a 1 foot equals 1 square or a 1/4 inch scale. Sadly, this makes your drawing too small to be useful, only 3 inches by 4.5 inches, so you can barely see what's inside of it. This is remedied by increasing your scale to 1 foot equals to 2 squares or a 1/2 inch. This doubles the dimensions of your drawing to 6 inches by 9 inches, which will also adequately fill a standard size page. Consider the utility of a finished sketch. It will be entered into evidence and presented in court if the case goes to trial. Utility means how useful it is. 3. Note the location of any evidence you discover. Include these measurements in your sketch. 4. Indicate the length along each wall, as well as the exact location and the size of items like sofas, chairs, and tables. Remember, your sketches will have to provide orientation within the crime scene to other investigators months and years from now, so make it as detailed and as accurate as time permits. Your final sketch should correct any mistakes from the rough sketch. This gives you an opportunity to present a clean, clearly arranged diagram of the scene. Be sure to include the street address, date, and your name on each and every sketch generated during your investigation, so people can go back and ask you about it if they have some questions. Also, include the items of evidence listed on the sketch and indicate the location using the assigned number. Assigned letter. List the physical evidence you believe may be relevant to this investigation in the table following the sketch, and make recommendations about how each should be tested. For example, sent to the DNA laboratory, examined for trace evidence, dusted for latent fingerprints, collected and taken to the laboratory for tool mark or footprint comparison, etc. That would be these items here. Which way would you like to measure or analyze these items? Now, I know we haven't done a lot of analyzation of material, so you could maybe Google how you might analyze blood stains or a casing, shell casing, these items that are found on this rough sketch. All right, you're going to do this on this next page. Let me blow that up for you. So on this right here is the grid that you'll be using, and you can take a look at this and the dimensions that are mentioned on the rough sketch right here. So you'll be taking a look at that. Okay? If you have any questions, remember to ask me, and I will be glad to help you. Good luck.